Our day begins with the crinkle of a plastic bag, the snap of a takeaway coffee lid. Plastic is everywhere, wrapping our food, protecting our deliveries, filling our homes. We barely notice it, yet it's a constant companion from morning to night. Each purchase, each meal adds to a growing mountain of packaging. Factories churn out millions of containers and wraps every hour, fueling a global system built for convenience. But this convenience comes at a cost. Most packaging is used once, then discarded. It doesn't disappear. It piles up in landfills, clogs streets, pollutes rivers, and drifts into oceans. The wrapper we throw away becomes a permanent scar on our planet. We rarely think about where it all goes, but its journey is far from over. This is the story of that unseen avalanche of waste. This crisis didn't happen by accident. We created it. We chose convenience, and industry delivered with cheap, versatile plastic. Our throwaway culture built a mountain of single-use waste. Recycling handles only a fraction. Most plastic ends up in landfills or the environment. It leaches chemicals into soil, chokes wildlife, and breaks down into microplastics found everywhere, from ocean trenches to our drinking water. Packaging reflects our values and priorities, revealing the unintended consequences of our choices. But we have the power to change the story. By understanding the journey of our packaging, we can demand better alternatives and rethink our habits. This isn't just about waste. It's about building a sustainable future. The solution starts with us. Every plastic wrapper begins in a sprawling industrial complex born from fossil fuels. Plastic pellets are melted, shaped into films or containers, and stamped out by automated machines. High-speed presses print logos and designs, turning blank plastic into powerful marketing tools. These wrappers are bundled and shipped to factories worldwide, consuming energy and resources before ever touching a product. The inks and dyes add complexity, making recycling even harder. Forklifts load pallets of empty packaging onto trucks, ready for the next stage. The wrapper's journey is just beginning, but its environmental impact is already significant. It's a product in its own right, manufactured on an industrial scale for a fleeting moment of use. All this before it ever holds the item it was made to protect. In the factory, empty packaging meets its purpose. Automated lines fill, seal, and wrap products with precision and speed. Plastic extends shelf life, enabling global distribution and year-round availability. Each product is checked, bundled, and boxed, often with even more plastic. Pallets are wrapped in stretch film and loaded onto trucks, ready for delivery. The system is a marvel of efficiency, but every step adds more waste. Layer upon layer of packaging protects products on their journey, but most of it is destined for the bin. Industrial engineering delivers convenience, but at a massive environmental cost. The production line is both a triumph and a tragedy of modern consumption. The last leg brings packaged goods from warehouses to stores or straight to our doors. Distribution centers sort and combine products, sending them to supermarkets or online shoppers. On the shelves, packaging promises freshness and convenience, designed to catch our eye. We fill our trolleys or click buy, adding more wrappers to our lives. At home, we tear open bags, peel away films, and toss the remnants aside. In minutes, packaging that traveled thousands of miles fulfills its purpose and becomes waste. Most ends up in the rubbish, its useful life over almost as soon as it began. The final decision is ours: recycle, reuse, or discard. The journey of packaging ends in our hands, but its impact lingers far longer. The avalanche continues unless we choose to change course. Once we throw it away, our packaging often ends up in a landfill. These vast, engineered landscapes are designed to contain our rubbish. Every day, refuse trucks add to the mountains of discarded material. This pressure entombs the plastic, preserving it for centuries. We are quickly running out of space. Landfills are like ticking time bombs as rain seeps through waste, creating toxic leachate. If leachate escapes, it can contaminate soil and groundwater. The sheer volume of waste is a crisis. The scale is almost too large to comprehend. This system is fundamentally unsustainable. This linear model of take, make, dispose is pushing our planet to its breaking point. This mountain of waste is a lost opportunity, burying valuable materials forever. It is a symbol of a broken system, a reminder that our approach to packaging and waste needs a fundamental rethink. Not all packaging waste ends its life neatly contained in a landfill. A horrifying amount escapes our waste management systems, blown from bins or washed into rivers. From there, it migrates towards the sea. Our oceans have become the final dumping ground. a vast blue frontier choked with debris. Once in the ocean, plastic becomes a deadly menace to marine life. Sea turtles mistake plastic bags for food, causing internal blockages. Seabirds feed plastic to their chicks, filling their stomachs with waste. Whales and dolphins become entangled, leading to drowning. The problem is global. This creates enormous floating patches of debris. The most infamous is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. This pollution damages entire marine habitats. Coral reefs can be smothered by plastic. Mangrove forests are choked by plastic. The most insidious threat from plastic pollution is the one we cannot easily see. Over time, sunlight and wave action cause larger pieces of plastic to break apart into microplastics, tiny particles less than 5 millimeters in size. This invisible dust of plastic has now infiltrated every corner of our planet. These tiny fragments are easily ingested by marine life. With each step up the food chain, the concentration of plastic and the toxic chemicals it carries can increase. Top predators like tuna, seals, and even humans who consume seafood are ingesting the accumulated plastic. The invasion does not stop at the oceans. They have been discovered on the summit of Mount Everest. They have been found in our soil, our drinking water, and even in the air we breathe. It is inside us. We have become the subjects of an uncontrolled, planet-wide experiment. To grasp the scale, we must look at the data. The numbers paint a stark picture of our global consumption. Every year, the world produces over 400 million tons of plastic. Approximately 40% is used for packaging alone. This material is specifically designed for a short, single-use life. It is created to be thrown away. This figure has been rising steadily, driven by economic growth and a global shift towards convenience. The vast majority of this packaging is destined for a very short life. Yet the material they are made from is engineered to endure for centuries. This profound mismatch between the lifespan of the product and the lifespan of its packaging is the fundamental flaw in our current system. We are creating everlasting waste for momentary convenience. The packaging sector is the largest single market for plastics, and the food and beverage industry is the dominant player. From bottled water to takeaway containers, our modern food system is inextricably linked with plastic. The data shows a story of global inequality, where the waste of the rich becomes the poison of the poor. We've been told recycling is the answer. The recycling symbol gives us reassurance. We believe our plastic waste will be magically transformed. But data reveals a disappointing reality. Only about 9% of plastic waste has been recycled. Most ends up in landfills or the environment. Not all plastics are created equal, and separating them is difficult. Food contamination is a major barrier. It's often cheaper to use new plastic. The recycling system is more myth than reality. Many items are sent to landfills or incinerators. The system can't handle the volume and complexity of plastic packaging. We can't simply recycle our way out of this problem. While individual consumer choices matter, the data clearly shows that the packaging problem is driven by decisions made at a much higher level. A small number of large multinational corporations are responsible for producing a significant percentage of the world's single-use plastic packaging. These are the global giants in the food, beverage, and consumer goods sectors. Their business models are built on selling high volumes of products in disposable containers. For decades, they have promoted a throwaway culture because it is profitable. It encourages consumers to buy their products over and over again, generating a continuous stream of revenue at the expense of the environment. These companies have invested billions in marketing campaigns that sell us a vision of convenience and modernity, a lifestyle intrinsically linked to single-use products. They have also spent enormous sums of money lobbying governments to resist regulations that would force them to change. This includes fighting against plastic bans, deposit return schemes, and policies that would make them financially responsible for the waste they create. Through powerful industry associations, they have successfully framed the issue as one of littering and individual responsibility, deflecting attention away from their own role as the primary producers of the pollution in the first place. The fingerprints of these corporations are all over the global waste crisis. Brand audits, where volunteers collect and identify branded plastic litter from beaches and cities around the world, consistently find the same few companies at the top of the list of polluters year after year. The packaging from their products, the bottles, wrappers, and sachets, are the most common items found polluting our environment. This provides undeniable proof of the connection between corporate production and real-world pollution. It is not anonymous waste, it is branded waste. and the data allows us to trace it back directly to its source. This evidence of corporate responsibility is a critical part of the story. It shows that we cannot solve the packaging problem by focusing on consumers alone. While we all have a role to play, the real power for systemic change lies with the producers. They are the ones who decide what materials to use, how products are designed, and how they are sold to us. By holding these companies accountable and demanding that they redesign their products and business models, we can begin to turn off the plastic tap at its source. The data does not just tell us the scale of the problem, it also points us toward where the most effective solutions can be found. The data tells one side of the story, but the human experience tells another. All around the world, individuals are feeling a growing sense of frustration and helplessness. We hear from consumers who are trying to do the right thing, but find themselves trapped in a wasteful system. One shopper explains how a simple trip for groceries becomes an exercise in generating waste. Every item, from a single cucumber to a block of cheese, seems to come encased in its own layer of non-recyclable plastic. This frustration is echoed by parents trying to raise environmentally conscious children. A mother shares her story of trying to buy toys for her child's birthday, only to find them encased in complex plastic shells and tied down with dozens of plastic ties. The anger is not just directed at the volume of waste, but at the sheer pointlessness of so much of it. They watch colleagues unbox a tiny item from a large cardboard box filled to the brim with plastic air pillows. This unnecessary, air-filled packaging has become a symbol of corporate indifference. It demonstrates a complete disregard for resource efficiency. This collective frustration is reaching a boiling point. A waste management expert we interviewed puts it bluntly: "We are at the end of the pipe, trying to manage a fire hose of waste that is being turned on full blast by producers." It is becoming a loud and unified demand for change. To understand why change is so difficult, we need to listen to the people who design the packaging itself. We spoke to a packaging engineer who has spent her career working for major food companies. She explains that the challenge is far more complex than simply switching to a different material. Her primary responsibility has always been product protection and safety. Plastic offers incredible barrier properties, protecting food from oxygen, moisture, and contamination, which extends shelf life and prevents food waste. The engineer describes the immense pressure to keep costs down, as plastic is incredibly cheap and lightweight. It is a constant balancing act between sustainability, cost, and performance. She also highlights the challenge of global supply chains and different waste management infrastructure. Ultimately, the engineer expresses a sense of professional and personal conflict, constrained by the commercial realities of the industry. True change requires more than just better engineering. It requires a fundamental shift in corporate priorities and business strategy. Amidst the frustration and industrial challenges, powerful stories of individual action are emerging. We meet a young couple committed to a zero-waste lifestyle. They buy rice, pasta, and grains from bulk bin stores. They make their own cleaning products and use reusable cloth bags. Their monthly rubbish amounts to a single small jar. They see their lifestyle as a form of protest, a rejection of throwaway culture. We see a growing movement of people making significant changes. A student organized a campaign to eliminate plastic water bottles from campus. A group of neighbors started a community composting scheme. These actions create a ripple effect, inspiring others and building momentum for broader change. Every time you refuse a plastic bag, you are casting a vote for the kind of world you want to live in. It's a growing, powerful movement. In response to the growing crisis, a wave of innovation is sweeping through the packaging industry. Scientists and engineers are racing to develop new materials that can replace plastic. We see packaging made from mushrooms, where mycelium is grown into custom-molded shapes that are fully compostable. Other innovators are using seaweed to create edible films that dissolve harmlessly in water. Companies are developing plant-based coatings that can make paper water-resistant and grease-proof without needing a plastic liner. We see prototypes of fiber-based bottles that are strong enough to hold carbonated drinks. Scientists are developing polymers from waste products, turning rubbish into a valuable resource. We see crisps sold in fully compostable bags and cosmetics packaged in mushroom-based trays. They are the seeds of a packaging revolution. Beyond creating new materials, the most profound solutions involve rethinking the entire system of how we get products. The most effective approach is to eliminate single-use packaging entirely with refill and reuse models. We are seeing a new generation of zero-waste shops opening, where customers bring their own containers. Pioneering programs like Loop partner with major brands, delivering products in durable, reusable containers. This creates a circular milkman-style model with the convenience of e-commerce. Governments are accelerating this shift with policies that prevent waste at the source. Ultimately, these changes signal a move towards a truly circular economy, where waste is designed out of the system. This requires a coordinated effort from innovators, corporations, governments, and consumers. We have journeyed through the life cycle of packaging, from creation to grim afterlife. We've seen the staggering scale of waste and the invisible invasion of microplastics. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the data and the corporate systems. Yet there is hope in the ingenuity of engineers, the courage of entrepreneurs, and the wisdom of policymakers. A new consciousness is dawning, seeking a more circular and responsible system. This movement is powered by individuals making conscious decisions. Every action is a vote for a different future, signaling that the old way is no longer acceptable. The story of packaging is about choice. Now we see the consequences clearly. The choice is in our hands, and the time to make it is now.